Hbar up 7% here, pumping today. Is this pump sustainable? Am I stacking Hbar right now? We've got a lot to cover off, guys. A nice big green candlestick here today on a day where most of the market is fairly positive, right? I posted my video earlier today explaining whether I think this move could last. Make sure you go watch my video earlier today on Bitcoin, breaking down the key levels. But Hbar has been moving fairly impressively. It's been trending on Twitter, a bunch of important updates which I need to bring to you. And more importantly, do I think this is going to last? Because the reality is, when we zoom out, this is a project like many altcoins which is severely retraced from all-time highs. And the question is, does this stack up as a project you want to be adding a bag to? Now, full disclosure, this is a bag I did add in 2021. I was adding DCAing into Hbar, and of course it got punished in the bear market. And am I going to actively add some more? I will get to that shortly. For those who aren't familiar, Hedera is a decentralized open source ABFT, so similar to what we talk about with Phantom, but also it's a hash graph. Very important. This is an alternative to a traditional blockchain. It uses something called the gossip mechanism as their consensus model. It's supposed to be very efficient, high transactions, around that 10,000 transactions per second mark, and supposed to be able to scale very quickly. But what's novel about Hbar, which took my intrigue when I started investing back in 2021 and earlier, was around the position that they have their governing council. So the way this works is it's open source, there's a public network, but it's governed by some of the biggest companies in the world, from Boeing, Google, IBM, London School of Economics, right? There's some big players here in this space that are governing this and keeping an eye on it. And I thought, again, just like you've heard me talk about in terms of proof of work versus proof of stake, what if we have a hedge in our portfolio? What if everything doesn't move blockchain-wise, but it moves in terms of a hash graph? What if it moves in terms of a governing council? So it's a nice little play to have, something that's doing something a little bit different to diversify your portfolio. As you guys know, it's all about diversifying that portfolio. But what's leading to this current rise? Well, the first thing we need to look at is TVL. If you take a look at the TVL here, where many projects are suffering right now in this bear market, you guys know, like, activity is dead. Whether you're looking on social media, whether you're watching YouTube, people are not interested in this crypto market, but even more so the reason for us to put in the work and to continue to seek the alpha that's going to give us those rewards when the tourists come back into the market. And what you can see straight away here is that TVL is spiking. It's spiking here on Hadera, and you can see that most of this change over the last 7 days, 20% has flocked into Stader, which is of course a DeFi protocol. They've got 22% coming into SaucerSwap, one of their DEXs, and another 12% flowing into another smaller DEX known as HeliSwap. So we're starting to see the early remnants of DeFi, and that's really important for a blockchain to be able to build use cases for people to start using it. We've seen many layer one solutions grow strongly off of the back of building their DeFi ecosystem. So this is a positive. On top of that, we've seen other important elements, right? They made the hire of Andrew Aitken, who was former White House employee working on open source, and he's going to be the chief open source officer of Hedera. So that's a positive kind of recruit for them. They're making progress, right? And then probably the thing I think which is weighing most of markets right now in a positive direction is then the fact that they've partnered with Hyundai and Kia, two major car companies, for their emissions monitoring system. So this is, again, a nice use case here, and just showing that they're creating partnerships. Remember, in a bear market, what can a project do? What's a roadmap for a project in a bear market? One, don't break. Don't have any downtime. Don't have any scams. Don't have any rug pulls. And two, if you can do so, build technology and build partnerships. We saw Polygon Matic do this really well last year. They announced a number of really strong partnerships, and that's why they were able to do a lot better than the rest of the market. Here on Hedera, they're making progress, and that's all you can ask for here. But now you need to look at the tokenomics, right? Because this is important whenever you're looking at a project. And I'm going to get into the charts to see where we think this can get to. But you have to remember that you're buying this at a market cap of 1.9, call it $2 billion already. So if you want to put that into perspective, it's already here in the top 30 on CoinMarketCap. So the question about whether this can hugely become an altcoin gem which can multiply in 1,000x from here, it's already a big project, guys. I don't want you to think this is not a big project. This is. It's bigger than Aptos, bigger than Arbitra, bigger than VeChain, bigger than Near Protocol, bigger than Aave, bigger than Algorand, right? It's a big project. And then moreover, if you then want to take into the fact that 65% is in circulating supply, which isn't too bad. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. 65% is circulating supply, max supply at that $50 billion Hbar tokens mark. The fully diluted market cap then sits at $3 billion. So I've seen worse, I've seen better, but just so you guys know, you're buying banging in at a $2 billion valuation today, and it's sitting at a fully diluted market cap of $3 billion. And again, if none of that makes sense, you're going to want to check out this video here where I do a breakdown on tokenomics of a project, and you can use that structure to do your own tokenomic analysis as well. The other interesting thing I spotted was we have seen Hadera trend a lot on Twitter recently. It's been in the trending section for a good number of days consecutively, and you are seeing a bunch of social engagements. And this is important for a few reasons, guys. How many times have we found great projects where there is no community behind it, there is no social engagement, and there is no hype? And conversely, how many times do we see great projects in terms of their social engagement, yet they have no tech? The blockchain space is about creating great tech, creating great community, right? And that's what great businesses have done in the past. Imagine an iPhone, right? Something like an iPhone. If you didn't have an amazing community to use that amazing tech, it'd just be great tech sat in a warehouse with nobody buying it. It's the same for blockchains. You've got to be able to create the social hype, engagement, and interaction. It's community building, and Hbar definitely have that. So this is a solid engagement number here, 30 million engagements here on Hedera, and you are seeing that hype. Even in the midst of a bear market, they're managing to keep that momentum up, which is positive. That doesn't mean it's everything. They've got to deliver on their tech, they've got to deliver on TVL, they've got to deliver in terms of their partnerships, but we are seeing some positive signs there. So then with that said, let's jump in the chart, right? We sit here in the chart, you can see I've got my Fibonacci lines on here, which I love. If you don't know how to use these, ijaz.uk/TA, learn 10 years, just download my brain of 10 years of TA knowledge in a structured curriculum, so that way you're not going into this next bull market without the basic knowledge that you need. If you're here in this bear market right now, you're definitely going to want to pick up those nuggets of wisdom. And you can see here, look, this is the golden pocket. This is 0.618 to the 0.65 mark. This is a very important level when you're looking at Fibonacci retracements. So when we're moving up here, that golden pocket sits at 0.31, so 31 cents to 32 cents mark. We're sitting currently at 6 cents per Hbar. Right, so you're looking at a nice 5x here. So where loads of people saying, oh, Hbar can 100x, 200x, you got to understand the context behind it. We can't just throw numbers out there. I just showed you 2 billion is where we're sat in terms of market cap currently. Assuming no further dilution, in other words, no further tokens are dumped into the market of the supply, you're talking a 5x to get to this level here. So in order to get to that 31, 32 cents, you're sitting at a $10 billion in market cap. Now, I know $10 billion isn't crazy, but it's a substantial size, right? $10 billion right now, if we go into CoinMarketCap, 6th or 7th in CoinMarketCap here in the bear market. Now, of course, the thesis you would need to have if you wanted to invest in this is that not only could it get to there, but it'd have to get to all-time highs. It'd have to get to 57 cents and then beyond. And if you look at the golden extension, that brings you to 75 cents, right? Which is a much more exciting level to get up to that 10, 12, 15x on Hedera. But remember, if you're going for a 15x on Hedera, that means your market cap would have to sit at that $30 billion mark in the bull market. So if you picture that now, given the current market cap ratings, $30 billion here in the bear market would put you at around XRP size. Right? So in a bear market, it's not possible. But of course, we have to remember, everything is hugely retraced. You're picturing Bitcoin running towards 1.5, 2 trillion. You're expecting Ethereum to get to that trillion mark in terms of market cap and do a 5x from here. You're expecting many other altcoins to start moving. And then the argument is, can you get your 10, 15x on Hbar? I personally think this is a project that can do a 10x. It can do a 12x. It definitely has the potential for that. But there are some people in the community that are over-egging this one. They're shouting, hundreds of x's. They're shouting 500x, 1000x. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Break down the tokenomics. Don't just shout numbers out there. Do the math, model it out. And then if you like the project, if you've got conviction, assign a small part of your portfolio. And if you like it, you can start adding that position to your bags. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown on Hbar. If you like this type of content and you want to see this on a different altcoin, comment down below which altcoin you want this type of breakdown on. And I'll see you in the next one.